All right, today I am talking about topic 5, unit rate. This is the second part of our chapter. We talked about a unit rate in that every unit rate must have a 1 in the denominator, and it must have units. For instance, maybe miles per hour, or maybe dollars per 1 can of green beans. Either way, it must always have a 1 in the denominator, and it must have units. We talked about how unit rates are coming back to the strong foundation. Our strong foundation is Jesus, the one and only one. And so unit rates help us remember to come back to Jesus as our one and only. Some of the problems you might see are, for instance, 50 minutes and over 20 calls. So in 50 minutes, we made 20 calls. What we want to do is we want to come up with the unit rate. We want to find out how long it took for 1 call. To do that, the 20 became a 1 by dividing by 20 in the bottom, but whatever you do to the bottom, you must also do to the top. Now, we are using calculators for the rest of this unit and also for topic 6. It is not required at this moment. It is just something we're using to help us be able to understand more of the concepts. Please do not purchase a calculator. Students are using a calculator that we have here at home. Please use whatever you have. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in the 50 divided by the 20, and that gives us 2.5, but we need to make sure we put minutes per call. So for 1 call, it's taking us 2.5 minutes. Another thing that we worked on is unit price, and we did a whole grocery unit on that, or a whole grocery lesson. For instance, if I buy 8 pencils for $2.24. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the money on top, because we don't want to find out how many pieces of a pencil we can buy for $1. Instead, I want to know how much it's going to cost for 1 pencil. So I'm going to write the pencils on the bottom. Okay, so I have set up my rate. Students must set up a rate to receive full credit. I need to see what they're given. Now, I want to go to 1 pencil, and I want to find out how much it costs. Well, to do that, for the 8 to become a 1, to make our unit rate, we're dividing the bottom by 8 and the top by 8. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the $2.24 and we're going to divide that by 8. And we get 28 cents. Now, students need to be careful. They can either write this with the $sign and the 28 cents and the decimal, or they can write this as 28 cents per 1 pencil. Please make sure that you do not mix up the decimal and the cent sign. They go with 2 different things. The decimal goes with the $sign or the cent. You can do one or the other, but not both. Now, when we were doing this, we are comparing. To compare, we need to be able to have the same denominator. And by doing unit rates, which are the 1 in the denominator, we can always compare if they have a unit rate. For instance, if we had, let's see here, 660 miles for 20 gallons, we can compare that to 850 miles on 25 gallons. Now, right now, they don't have a common denominator. It would be easy enough to make one, but we're going to take it back to the unit rate. I want to find out how many miles I get per gallon. So in both cases, I'm going to take this to 1. To do that, I'm going to divide by the 25 for both of these. And when I do that, I get 850 divided by 25, and I get 34 miles per gallon. Now, for the next one, I'm going to divide top and bottom by the 20, the numerator and denominator. And when I do that, I have 660 divided by the 20, and I get 33 miles per gallon. And then students would write a sentence saying that the 34 miles per gallon is the better choice compared to the 33 miles a gallon because they get 1 more mile per gallon. Okay, so that is unit rate. We also, as a part of unit rate, we are talking about some distance problems. Distance equals rate times time. Okay, so D is for the distance. R is rate, and T is time. All right, so for instance, if we have something such as, let me find a problem here, we have not used yet in class. All right, so Jason and his family travel 160 miles in 3.2 hours. Okay, if they continue at this constant speed, how long will it take them to go 300 miles? So we want to know how long it's going to take them to go 300 miles. Okay. So what we can do, we can first come up with our rate. So let's take the 160 miles over the 3.2 hours. Okay. And we're going to solve for our unit rate, how far we're going to go in 1 hour. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by the 3.2. When I do that, I have 160 divided by the 3.2, and I get 50 miles per hour. Now, I can do this 2 different ways. If I use the distance formula, D equals R times T, my distance is 300 miles. My rate is 50 miles per hour, and I'm looking for how long it's going to take me to do that. This goes back and revisits what we did in topic 3. So we are going to, oops, that one doesn't work. 1 second here, please. We're going to put a box around the variable. We want to kick the 50 off the island. To do that, we're going to do the opposite. So that means I'm going to divide both sides by that 50 miles per hour. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. When we do that, this 50 goes away, and these miles are going to go away. That leaves us with the time is 300 divided by 50. I know I can cross 1 0 out of both of those, so 30 divided by 5 is 6 hours. Now, that is if we do it as a distance. Students will need to write the formula and the equation they come up with and then get the answer. The other option we could do is take that 50 miles per hour, and we now want to drive 300 miles. So students could also set up rates and set them equal. I know that 5 times 6 would give me 30. So whatever I do to the top, I also have to do to the bottom. And that leaves us with the answer of 6 hours. Both of these will give you the same answer. This one's using distance. This one is just setting up the rates and finding equivalent rates. Alrighty.